Hello, welcome to the Horus Heresy. I'm so excited. I'm so very, very excited, actually. Obviously, just watched the preview, and now I'm going to be talking about everything that we saw in the preview article. Also, it's in the time of recording, Friday night. In 2 days' time, I'm running a Horus Heresy event here in Nottingham, which is like a 750-point small format event called Squads. So I'm super excited about that. But I think the preview show that we just saw, so I'm surrounded by heresy is what I'm trying to say. The preview show that we just saw from Games Workshop, I think the Custodes and all of the heresy stuff was the winner from that article, from that preview, was the winner. Like, this is, I would say, Horus Heresy, or it feels like Horus Heresy's Cathay. This is huge, absolutely huge. Already the response online is crazy. Obviously, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below, but I'm going to talk about all of it as we go through this article, but they look amazing. They are, yeah, they're fantastic, and actually really blew my expectations. I was kind of thinking, oh yeah, whatever, more Custodes, but maybe that's just because I saw, like, the 40k Custodes aren't as good, and like, lol. Anyway, right. Let's have a look. We're going to be getting the Legio Custodes battle group as a release. So this is going to be, it looks like it's going to be 5, 6, 11. I'll read what it says in the article. A dreadnought, and we're also going to get a Caladius tank as well in that drop, which is pretty amazing. If you're just jumping into the Horus Heresy, you're thinking, because of Custodes, to jump into the Horus Heresy, is this a great box to pick up? Yes. I'd also like to identify that, like, definitely, I didn't play second edition Horus Heresy. I played first edition. In second edition, Custodes were an issue, or at least people told me that they were. And so there's some stigma, or was some stigma around it, but like, don't worry about that. Like, these look amazing. So go build them, paint them, get them on the table. Also, probably as of this point, they're going to be the most time-efficient way to jump into the Horus Heresy, right? You don't have to paint as many models because they're going to be very points-dense. Like, they'll be very expensive units, so you don't have to paint as many stuff, which is good. Because you can get more stuff on the table. They are also getting a full Liber. There's so much stuff happening here, so let's kind of look at this. But this looks like a great box. Let's have a look. The upcoming Legio Custodes release is spearheaded by the mighty Legio Custodes Battle Group box, essentially a small army in its own right, and the perfect way to begin a new Custodes force. Let's break down the units. So let's just kind of take a moment to look at the model, shall we? And I say that these are, I previously had a Heresy and also 40k Custodes army, so I know these models, or I know the Custodian Guard models that they had previously in some detail, and I think that there's so many things that are better about this. I'm going to say the first thing is I really enjoy, or I really like the kind of more pronounced gorget that you get on the models. I think it really identifies and creates a slightly different, like, chest shape, which I think is good. I think they've also sorted out the scale. They previously looked very kind of squat and quite broad, and I think these look much neater. And there's just a lot of additional elements that are all over the model, like, you know, that kind of Roman part at the bottom, underneath, like, the kind of crotch plate. Every element, the helmets, I think, are a little bit nicer, a little bit cleaner. And you are looking at sculpts that are basically like 10 years in development, like better. So I think they're super nice. I like the cloaks as well. I really like the big hair pieces. I think they're great. Very dynamic. One of the things that was pointed out during the reveal, which I think is really true, is the head options are great. Really nice to see that, quite different as well, especially because you can do, if you are one of those really amazing heresy painters, and I know there's loads of you out there, you got the opportunity to really, like, flex, I think, at this point, which I think is nice. A lot of filigree, a lot of stuff. You could dry brush this fine for sure, but I think you can also do a lot more with these as well. I like the misery cords. The helmets are great, and yeah, they're Custodes, right? Just super solid. New Custodian card are the quintessential image of the Custodians we all know. Tall Guardian spears, high-plumed helmets, and glorious golden armor. The kit for these contains options for bear heads and command staff, including Vexilla. The Warhammer 40,000 fans among you might have noticed these would also be perfect representing Custodian Guard and Depths Custodian's army. I don't really care about that element for sure. Also, what's weird about this Custodian release, about the Custodes release, is that normally SDS, and you see this in Old World as well, normally SDS and Main Studio do not discuss that you can buy one unit for the other. So it's kind of a weird flex. If you're here to talk about what's going to happen with Custodians in 40k, I personally don't care. I'm only a Heresy fanboy, so I don't give a shit. But yeah, great update. I'm really happy I saw my old Custodians army. Super excited to get the new one. This is an instant for me. The Custodian Sentinels are much like the Guard, but instead of Guardian Spears, they carry Sentinel Warblades and Presidium Shields. Otherwise, they'll have the same options. And yes, you're right, they would also make brilliant inclusions. Oh, shut up. I don't care about 40k. Shields are great. Shields are solid. The blades are good. Also, I feel like they've added a second... they've changed the hilt, the crossguard. They've changed the crossbar on the gun, or am I making that up? I think I'm not making that up. And that is a different design, which is wicked, by the way. The shields are amazing, though. Yeah, I think that's kind of the high point. The shields are nuts. So, yeah, very fun. Shoulder pads are solid. Again, the unhelmeted versions fit. Like, normally I would expect them to be like the wrong size or something, but like they fit. And like I say, that gorget, really great. The Custodian Sentinels are much like the Guard, but instead of the Guardian... Oh, yeah, I've read that bit. Okay, cool. Cool. It's an exact replica of a resin model in plastic. Great. Weapons and war gear for Legio Custodians in the finest of the Imperium, and the same goes for the armored vehicles. The Caladius Annihilator grav-tank ranks among the most dangerous armored units of its size in the Age of Darkness. Wicked. I love it in plastic. I am disappointed it is going to be 112 pieces. If you're a true Heresy fan, you'll know what I'm talking about. But either way, each one of those grav plates will for some reason be 2 parts. I don't make the rules. They just will be. But great, cool kit. Nice that it won't be in resin anymore. It's in plastics, easy to build. Fantastic. Yeah, love every element of it. From the beginning, I've really liked the design aesthetic of the SDS Custodes, because they're intentionally unblocky, like you see in regular Imperium stuff. Imperium stuff is meant to be blocky because it represents like the kind of like structured, unartistic, utilitarian nature of what the Imperium is. Whereas the Custodes are, they are more Eldar-like in that they are like, mechanics are starting to become almost magic, and I've always enjoyed that. I thought that was wicked. Amazing sculpt. Equipped with a versatile Arachnus Blaze carronade, equally capable of busting tanks holes, which I assume is exactly the same as it currently is in the rules. Not to mention the whole mounted weapons, the twin Lastrum bolt cannon. Here we go. Twin Lastrum bolt cannon, a gun type we've never seen before. The twin neutronium cascade projector. I love that. I'm just about to fire my twin neutronium cascade projector. So we're going to have a new weapon option as well for these. Great. Then we've got the dreadnought. Dreadnought looks amazing. I love how they've thickened up the arms. I think thickening up the arms has really added to the design aesthetic of these. Great. Legio Custodians make dreadnoughts to allow grievously wounded warriors to fight on, and forthcoming Custodes battle group has a spectacular new plastic contemptor kit jammed into it. Boom. Looks great, solid, will cost 1 million points, will be really easy to paint and put on the table. Dreadnoughts are not particularly good in the Heresy right now. It's really hard to take a lot of them. They're not super impactful. They just look wicked, so great. And then a really versatile model. It can be built as either a Contemptor Achilles, which has got the Dread Spear, or a Contemptor Galatus, which has got the Warblade and Shield. This gives you very different Dreadnought types with 2 distinct battlefield functions. The Achilles deals a whopping damage 3 with its spear. Wow, that is good. And makes a mockery of enemy armor, while the Contemptor Galatus is best suited for crowd control with the Flamer in its sword, Warblade, and extra durability afforded by the shield. Best of all, the posability. Just check out the awesome dynamic poses you can build. So yeah, one of the things that I found quite distressing, or at least my opinion, and if you don't agree with me, please let me know, but having built a couple of the Saturnine Dreadnoughts, I found their posability to be very limited. So actually being able to have some pretty aggressive posability on these guys would be good, because if you've built any of those Saturnine Dreadnoughts, they're like 722 pieces to build, but the posability is quite low. So I'm really hoping we see a shift in the SDS miniatures, so that they use the fact that they make us build 700 pieces per model for some reason, and then they make it so stuff is more posable. So I think that would be a nice trade-off, I think. Again, great kits. You're going to see people build and play these all the time. It's great. Okay, all custodians are incredible warriors, but the greatest among them raise to the rank of the shield captain. These warriors stand shoulder to shoulder with the greatest fighters in the Imperium, and the new shield captain miniature is worth such an accolade. Just check out that level of detail. Boom. Incredible sculpt. 11 out of 10. Absolutely no notes. Here you can see an alternative version. Of course, if you watch this video above, you caught a glimpse of some other Legio Custodes kit set for these too, which we'll talk about in a moment. Also, the fact that this is a female Custodes, female Custodes, that's simple. I'm incredibly pro this. This is very exciting. If you're someone that has got any emotional response beyond the very normal, like, oh, it's a woman, cool, then you're a freak. And you shouldn't watch anything I ever make again, because you need to go home. Well, you don't need to go home. You need to go out. You need to meet people. You need to read books. You need to expand your life and your everything to do with you, because you are mentally deficient. But that's great. I love that. She will be an immediate purchase for me. Immediately paint it up. In fact, actually, this is so good, I might get a commission painter to paint it up for me, because I'm so very fucking excited about this. So yeah, fantastic. Love it. Great. And also an amazing sculpt. And if you don't like this, you unfortunately are fucked, because every Golden Demon painter is going to go butt crazy with this. They're going to go wild. So, sucks to suck. Okay. Right. So what have we got going on now? We've got the Custodians are also getting with the eye-catching silhouette of the Aquila on their backs, the Venatari swoop into battle to expose the enemy's weakness, cutting them down with kinetic destroyers and bucklers of Vetrium lance. These are fast-moving, hard-hitting warriors. Their lighter armor is more than compensated by their brutal power. The other versions of these, or the versions that they previously, I don't think looked anywhere near as good as these. These make Sanguinary Guard look pathetic. They look amazing. 11 out of 10. Sign me up. I'm buying too many of them. All of it is great. Sign me up. Sign me up 100%. Custodes getting second Caladius grav-tank. The signature weapon of the Caladius is a twin Elastus accelerator cannon that punches out 6 strength 8 shots. Wow. More than enough to turn medium light vehicles Swiss cheese or outright butcher heavy infantry. And then also, when you get your custodians safely to where they're fighting in its thickest, you'll be needing the service of a Legio Custodes Coronis grav-carrier, heavily armored, swift, and capable. So yeah, having a transport. Is it an assault vehicle? Armored, swift. I don't know if in the rules it's currently an assault vehicle. If it's not, then that makes it worse. It can carry 7 standard custodians and offer some serious fire support with its twin blaze cannon or lastrum bolt cannons. So probably not an assault vehicle, which is a little bit disappointing in a 4-turn game, because it means you spend a turn getting out and they're not doing anything, which is like, well, we'll see. Maybe there's some rules for changing that around. Is a very chonky boy. Looks excellent. Great miniature. Love to see it. That's great as well. Also, something to say about these custodians, right? Because these custodes have been very Forge World, right? I expect in the future for them to just drop random other Custodes units, whether or not they're like heavy weapon options or something wild. So I would say that this is the first shot across the bow. I know there's a book as well. There's a Liber, which we'll talk about in a minute. But I expect in the future to them really expand the range and just be like, listen, we're not 40k. We're going to do what we're going to do. So that's great. Because this is really just refreshing the range, right? Where exactly do you find the lore and the rules for these models? Enter Liber Custodes, the essential guide for using Legio Custodes in your games. It details the custodians themselves, along with Sisters of Silence, and an addendum that covers the agents of the Assassinorum. Fantastic. These latter 2 forces exist outside the formal structure of the Custodes and can be used as allies or standalone force in case of Sisters of Silence. Love to see that as well. And then you get the book. I love the front cover. It's great. You also find the rules for the 2 most famous of the Emperor's Talons, the Captain General Valdor and Knight Commander of the Silent Sister, Janetta Kroll. We've dropped to, anyway, then they also talk about 40k, but who cares about 40k? Not me, not a nerd. Fantastic. Great release, great range refresh. Everything's super exciting about this. Very, very fun. Shot across the bow against the Chuds with the female Custodes shield captain. And an amazing book that I can't wait to pick up and read, because I'm super excited. So amazing. But that's not all for the Heresy, because it gets wild. They've also announced that they're bringing out the Glaive as well. Glaive is sick. I love it. I personally am kind of like a boys over toys guy. Like, I like having a bunch of like heavy squads versus, in rhinos or something, versus you know, the big super tank. I didn't pick up the Fellblade that came out recently. I was tempted several times, but I think maybe I'll pick up the Glaive, maybe. But I actually went and picked up a Knight instead of picking up a Glaive. I thought that was a kind of a better thing to throw into an army. But probably I'll pick up one of the super heavies at one point. I don't really know. Now, the Whirlwind release is amazing. The model itself is great. I love it. Whirlwind's pretty lackluster in the game, unless you're fighting like, I don't know, like demons or solar. They're pretty tough into Marines, but like I really like them. I think they're good. Exactly like that one. The Whirlwind is certified to start as classic, combining the venerable Rhino chassis with a huge missile launcher that hurls storms of explosive warheads into enemy ranks. The sophisticated range finding and targeting auspex mounted on the launcher allow multiple different kinds of munitions to be loaded and fired independently. So maybe we'll end up with some different like rounds, right? Or maybe we'll end up with some updated rules for this with some different missile options. But this is insane. Like, again, if you're a tank guy and you're a heresy collector, I don't know why you're not picking this up. Most artillery pieces are vulnerable once the enemy closes in, but the speed and reliability of the chassis means the Whirlwind can relocate under cover of smoke. It thrives in both mobile battalions and siege regiments. It's a rare commander who'll turn down a rain of missiles. The mighty squadrons of super heavy tanks that saw combat in the Horus Heresy, the focus of the next journal Tactica book, Mailed Fist, Legion of the Astartes, super heavy tanks, which explores their use and abuse through the apocalyptic conflict. So another journal. And again, if you're not like me, sorry about that, but I am going to constantly be pumped that they're throwing as many journals at us as we can get. I will read these cover to cover. I'm so excited to pick up the Skitarii one next week or the week after, whenever it is. Read it cover to cover. They're really fun. They're great bedtime reads. They're super fun. And yeah, very cool. This 48-page supplement includes new Leviathan missions designed to accommodate vast numbers of vehicles in asymmetric clashes, with support from chaotic multiplayer battles that pitch everyone's armored squadrons against each other. That could be really fun. It's full of in-depth lore about the creation and organization of the super heavy fleets fielded by the Legion of Astartes, culminating in new exemplary battles that let you refight notorious vehicle heavy engagements like the Siege of Portesh. There we go. You see some Iron Warriors tanks there. These vehicles will be entering service late this year. Okay. And you can find out when they're coming to pre-orders by checking Warhammer Community. We should turn your eyes away from this. Okay. Perfect. And that's everything for the Heresy. And I feel like the Heresy really won the releases, to be honest. Like, the 40k stuff was like, it doesn't matter. It's not about comparing. If you love 40k and you were super happy, great. But for me personally, I think that they had I think we did great. And I am so excited to like read the rules, play some games, pick up some minis, paint some minis. This is what I was currently doing. I've been painting up Thalax. There you go. This is a Thalax I've been painting up. I have a Heresy event in 2 days. I'm going to keep going it. So loved it. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Thanks to everyone for hanging out. You're all great. See you soon. Bye.